Welcome back. After a hiatus of a week, I had to take a week off. Man, I needed a break. But we're back. But we're doing a special edition tonight. It's a celebration for a single that we released on Broken Records, and it's amazing. You are now looking at the orchestrators of it. And of course, my beautiful co-host Danny is here as well. And without further ado, we're going to get into it because we got a lot to talk about. So, everybody, we're going to start with, I call you Reeves or Daniel?
Yeah.
A little bit of both. Introduce yourself and give us a little background info. Oh, and by the way, it's 3 a.m. where he is. So everybody.
I will do my best, I'm sure. It's like a HR interview. Okay. Hi, my name is Reeves. I'm coming from Rome, Italy. And my background is starting when I was a pianist, classical music. And I followed from when I was a child, like blues, jazz, and starting from classical music. And then I continue following for rock music. And I think around 13 years old, I was trying to following the dance, electronic, and house music. I started the Reeves 2 years ago, and including releases like Beck or The Best View with Papa Records from Real People Music. And now I'm on Broken Records. This is from legend Jesse Saunders with my
best label you've been on so far.
Best label for sure.
Next up, we have someone you've seen a few times on the show. She's in the book. She's making records. She's a diva. She's everything, and she's everywhere. Angelala.
Hi. Hello again. My name is Angelala. I'm the singer-songwriter on Deeper. I'm out of New York. I'm originally from Flint, Michigan. Growing up, I listened to a lot of 90s R&B and a lot of grunge. And then as a teenager, I started going to Detroit and going to a lot of raves. And then I started going to Miami, and I just happened to go to the Winter Music Conference. And that's where I heard house for the first time. I started making house music about 3 years ago. And this is actually my third song with Reeves. And I think we'll get into that later, but we met online, and yeah, here we are, deeper.
And yeah, we've gone deeper. All right. Next up, we have a man from San Francisco who is also featured in the book. And he's also been here a few times, and he did an amazing remix, and he just disappeared on us. So we're going to go over it. This guy is also up late. You know, he's in all the way from the UK, and he did a monster remix that's gotten up to the top 5 on Traxsource and pre-sales by the name of Lawton.
Yeah, hi everybody. Yeah, same as you, Reeves. 2 o'clock in the morning here, but it's well worth getting up there to come and meet the master, Jesse. Nice to meet you, Jesse. Absolute pleasure to meet you. So yeah, just a quick bit of background for myself. I'm from the UK. Fell in love with music since a young age. Really, all kinds of different styles of music. I was just growing up, you know. Discovered house music late on for me, probably late 90s, early 2000s. Iconic nightclub in Newcastle called the Shindig. Used to go every weekend like a religion, falling in love with just hearing different house music and different sounds. And basically from then, for the last 20 years, my music influence has just gone skyrocketing from different kinds of styles. And obviously we'll talk about some artists that have influences along the way. But only been producing myself for the last 4 years, self-taught. And just absolutely loving the transition from DJing to producing. It's very much different, but I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you do both well. That's all that matters.
Right? Thank you very much, sir.
Right? And BB's back.
I'm back.
So introduce yourself.
Yeah. All right. My name is BB Hayes, and I'm originally from the Bay Area, San Francisco. I started DJing in the mid 80s, top 40 stuff, and did, a lot of radio. And at some point in about around early 90s, I went to San Francisco looking for work, and I discovered house music just walking into a club. It's been an amazing journey ever since. It just took over my soul, and I started producing a little bit back in the 2000s, and then kind of fell out of it, and then am now reinvigorated to be creative. And after meeting Jesse, and now it's kind of like a new beginning for me. Well, here I am, deeper.
And here you are. You're deep in the mix. All right. So, last but certainly not least, we have my co-host, Danny K.
Hello, y'all. I am Danny K, also known as the Bad Day Killer, aka Oracle of the Airwaves. I am on FM radio in Los Angeles, and I enjoy doing this podcast with Jesse every single Sunday. You can also catch me on Mondays on the B-Side Show. It's an all elements platform where we stream live. We have producers, DJs, artists, graffiti writers, aerosol artists, they like to be called. And we just focus on culture and the arts. And I really enjoy spending time here with you guys and highlighting all of the memories. I first found house music in the early 90s, and being a part of this community has been a huge influence in my life. So I'm honored to be here with y'all.
All right. So let's get into it. We're talking about this amazing release known as Deeper. Now, who did we lose again? BB, why do we keep losing him? Do you not want to be here? BB, do you not want to be here with us? What's going on?
Yeah, listen, I'm high speed, but just don't start clicking shit.
I think the problem is with the hairs.
Thank you. I started clicking a chat, and I can't respond because I didn't log in, so not for that. I'm back. I'm not going to touch anything.
BB Hayes, aka Houdini.
Houdini is right. Cool. So let's get into the first question with Reeves.
Let's do it. Reeves, who are your musical influences? What's brought you here where you are today? Music.
I started probably following my mom's passion for music, like jazz, blues, especially from some artists like Stevie Wonders. I started when I was so young, with vinyl, like Superstition or something like that, and I moved forward to rock because my father was like a collector of vinyl, from rock music, from Creedence Clearwater, Grand Funk Railroad, and everything. And after, with classical music, I decided to change, following my friends, and I decided to starting to go to see the live music, like music in the club, and then the electronic music and DJ live. And I think I built my passion into the clubs, watching the DJs. And when I went in for the first time in the studio, I decided to be also a producer. And house music for me, as solo career started 2 years ago as Reeves. Before I did much more progressive house music, but it was a mistake. I don't consider it.
Nothing's ever a mistake.
We're getting a little.
It led you to where you are today, right? So I'm sure you.
Hang on a second, guys. We're getting a little echo, so I'm going to need everybody to hit their mute button if you're not talking.
I didn't understand. I'm sorry.
It's an echo, so you'll have to mute yourself if you're not talking. Okay, go ahead now.
All right. So I was just saying that because I've done some music that I wasn't always excited to share, but I know that it led me to future music. So I'm sure it wasn't a mistake, even if it wasn't one of your proudest. But speaking about Deeper, what was the inspiration for the track Deeper? And, how did it come to you? Can you share with us how you first arrived on that?
Deeper was made here in Milan. When I bought for the first time my first synthesizer called ASM Hydrosynth, is really new synthesizer. It was really interesting because I was trying to testing something like on the piano. I like to play like jam session following a sample, but I recorded live my piano live. I don't know, and I listened again. And I said, let me use some new drum top or snares from the machine, and I was feeling something like new. It was different from the other songs that I made till that moment. And I decided to send the idea to Angela because I was thinking that probably it was something different, and I really like to do a new experiment. And probably I found my perfect genres. I really try and test and do everything I would really like.
You guys mentioned that you met online. Can you tell us a little bit about how Angela and Reeves met at first? Because I know you have a few songs together, right?
You want to explain first time?
Yeah, let's get into Angela. We need to hear your voice.
You're on mute.
Okay, I got it. I actually don't really remember. I think it was on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I even I remember I didn't know how to pronounce your name, so you sent me a recording. I'm like, is it Revs? What?
Yeah, don't worry, you are not first. You weren't first.
I know that was my thing too. I'm like, now what am I supposed to do with this? I don't even know how to promote this thing. How do we listen?
It was I think that moment I was drunk or something like that. I decided to just.
That's a good one.
It's good.
But I'll tell you, Broken Records actually I've had to do on our Facebook page with
it has the tree.
Represent NE because it was taken, so I understand.
So, that's the destiny. It wasn't mine by me.
Well, I guess I speak drunk text because I knew right off the bat it was Reeves.
I don't remember how I made this name. Probably I spent 1 week like I don't know which name I can choose, and after I said, "Oh my God, I choose this one." Fuck.
Hey, I want everybody see what he looks like at 3:00 in the morning, right? And then we're gonna check out what he does.
My eyes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
You can be on the soap opera in Los Angeles or in the States.
Right?
No photo shoot, please. No photo shoot.
No photos.
No photos, please.
No paparazzi.
In this moment, you can use my photos in that Zoom. That's the first thing.
What made Angela's voice so perfect for this track, Reeves?
Because I already listened Angela on my tracks. For example, When We Are One, it was special, and also on Shine. Shine, it was much more aggressive, I think, as track than Deeper for sure. And I was thinking that Angela has really high potential for vocals, and especially for the soulful and deep house music. And I was saying, well, I can try her vocal again. I received many requests from other singers, but I pass over all the singers I listen, and I prefer Angela.
He passed over everyone just for you.
No, not everyone. See serious.
Right?
Angelala, what was the inspiration for the lyrics? Is there a certain memory or?
Not really. It was just like Reeves said, it was like a deeper kind of feel. Like, in my opinion, when I listened to it a bunch of times, and it definitely was more deep compared to the other two songs that we did. So I kind of just played off that specific word, and deeper can mean a lot of things depending on how you're saying it. So I kind of played off that.
Okay, so what else does it mean?
Use your imagination.
No, we're not using our imagination today.
Does
You're
it have
supposed
anything to
talk
do with
about it. That's why
Valentine's
you're
Day?
here. What
Hey,
does
hey,
deeper
it
mean
could
to you?
be, you know, it could be, but in the end, it's about a deep kind of love, a deeper kind of love,
She's
a more
politically
meaningful
correct.
kind of love. Yes.
Oh, you went for love because it's
Yeah.
Valentine's Day.
Hi, Mom.
All right.
I'm here.
Oh, good one. Good one.
Hey.
That
Thank
is a
you.
good one. Is there anything unique or different about being in the pandemic setting that you recorded
Oh yeah, I
track?
forget about that. Yeah, how could I forget about that? So, I was too scared to go into a studio. I don't have a home studio. I just have like a portable Yeti mic and my computer and some good headphones. And so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna make this work. So I bought a coat rack, I hung a blanket over it, I put it in the corner right over here. And so that was a wall. And then I put another blanket over it and I tacked it to the wall, and that was the ceiling. And then I put another blanket over on the side, and I had a little light in there with me, and that's how I recorded the song. It's pretty loud, and right now it's not so loud, but it can get pretty loud in my building. So the blankets helped, but it was a lot of recording and re-recording just to not have so much sound in the background. But it was worth it. I was up for the challenge, and I'm happy with the outcome.
Awesome, awesome. So Brazil said hello, everybody. So shout out to our house family in Brazil. Thank you to everybody tuning in, and hello, Sincere. She's loving the questions and all of the people that are here with us, our guests. My next question is for Cole. Regarding the project, this one, how did you come about? Where is your inspiration? Like, can you tell us how you ended up a part of the project first?
Yeah, sure. Just through the main man Jesse, really gotten in touch with us and asking us would I fancy getting involved with the remix. It's quite a simple process for me. Like if I listen to a track and I instantly can hear elements in the track that makes us feel as though I can remix this. I'll take the project on, and I have to say, as soon as I heard the actual production of the track and Angela's vocals, because I absolutely love working with vocals, it was a no-brainer really that I was going to do a remix with it, because the original is fantastic.
Yeah.
Nice.
So let me ask you a question. What if you get a song that is not that nice, but they ask you to do a remix? What do you do with that?
Yeah, I've done that as well, mate. What I do, I'll find something in the track, because there's always something in a house music track, isn't it? I always feel there's some element that will hook into you, and you think, yeah, that's going to be my lead from my remix. You know, I love doing remixes. For some reason, I've kind of like fell into this bracket now where I'm producing good remixes, and I think it's just come from just having a good year really, and picking out that one bit that you're gonna focus on, make it sound good.
All right.
I dig it. I'm doing some. My camera. I'm going like this because my camera is going lower and lower. So I apologize, guys. A little technical difficulty here. So I do have a question when it comes to the DJing, the mixing, and then tying in other social media. Have you guys tried tying in any other ways to share the track? Like, you know, some people use TikTok, some people do like challenges. Have we tried doing anything like that yet? And if not, do you think there might be one on the way? And this is a question for anybody.
Who will answer first?
What does that mean? Like TikTok dances and stuff like that?
Yeah, there's been some cool challenges with new, you know, when there's a new release, for example. I did one with a producer and a singer that goes by Cocaine. So his was a scratching and cutting contest. So it was a new song of his, and he invited people to cut and scratch on it, and he gave away prizes, and him and another DJ picked 3 people, and they gave away some money, and so it kind of went viral. So I was just curious if you guys had any ideas for implementing a way to try and get this to, dance challenges maybe, or something along those lines.
The way I see it,
Gave us a good idea.
is if you decide that you're going to give away $3,000, you can pretty much get anybody to do anything.
Yeah.
I would have done it for that.
I think it's called deeper. We should just get someone to dig a massive hole so you can dig the deepest hole, and then
$3,000
7-year-old do a cool
Sold.
dance.
So has
How's
anybody
Deeper
done anything
being
different?
received, though?
Yeah.
How's Deeper being received? Like, what's some of the feedback you guys have gotten? Open question.
I've gotten great feedback. It's been pretty overwhelming, but in a good way. Even like with the write-ups and with the all 3 of the mixes going on the Traxsource, chart for pre-order. I mean, it's not even out yet, so it's really, it's really.
What I found interesting, Angela was doing a post, and I didn't know she was talking to her family, but she was trying to explain what Traxsource was, and I was like, "It's so crazy you have to explain what it is." What'd you say?
Yes, people are like, "What is it on iTunes?" If they're not a DJ,
iTunes is still existing. I'm out of the world. I'm sorry. This moment, Apple is conquering everything, so it's everywhere.
I've played the remix this weekend a couple of times in a couple of live streams, and it's gone down an absolute treat. Like in the chat rooms, people are liking the vibe of the whole EP. That I think we've all done such a good job with it. So many flavors on it, and with all the tracks, it's amazing, really. Like how good of an EP it's become. Very, very proud of it. Yeah.
What did I say to you, Carl, when you sent it in?
Yeah.
How did I describe it?
I think you just said nasty, I think, wasn't it, Jesse? Nasty. And I was like, that's what I wanted, Jess. I was going for dirty, nasty. I think the inspiration was a really low ceiling club where the sweat was dripping on top of your head. That's
nasty.
Totally see
nasty.
That's nasty. Yeah.
That was the influence.
BB, where were you when you first heard the final cut?
Hi everybody. First of all, let me say hello to anybody in the chat that I haven't been able to respond to, because every time I try to log in over there, they get cut off. So hi everybody who's chatting and I can't respond. Okay. Jesse, basically, I had done one remix for Jesse of his song It's Okay. And then he just kind of contacted me and said, "Do you want to do another remix?" I'm like, "Yes." Like right away.
You're not supposed to mention It's Okay yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Oops. Bottom line is, it was just a yes. I didn't even know, what the song was, but it does come with a pretty awesome story, because basically I said yes. He sent me the stems. I was listening to him. I'm like, this is a really great song. And I didn't really make the connection that Angela was on the show in their own words when I was in Spokane, I guess in June, right?
Yeah.
And so basically I didn't really know your whole story, but I saw Angela and I was like, so hot. and then later on, I saw that you had posted, I'm making a video. I'm like, oh my God, she's a singer. Okay. I started to put everything together. And then I had this thought in my mind.
What? She sings? Is that her?
Yeah. No, listen, I had this thought in my mind. Maybe I should hit her up to do a remix. And literally it must've been a week later. I think I just created the possibility, because that's when Jesse contacted me. And when I looked on the stems for the mix, and I was like, that's Angela. It's Angelala. And I was like, oh my God, this is all coming. So yeah, I was really impressed. It was when a song is so well made to start, the inspiration comes easy. Yeah, just like Cole said.
I love it. So Robert Lee said Spokompton. He called out Spokane as Spokompton. So I just wanted to share that with you.
There you go.
Are there parts of Spokane that are kind of like Compton because there's an area here in Eastville that they call Swampton. So I'm curious, is it because of the?
I hear there is, but of course in June it was right in the middle of the pandemic and all the riots and everything. So I just stayed home and was on Jesse's show. That's all I did.
Me too.
So this show has been going for a while now. And for those of you that are tuning in for the first time, let me give you a little background. I wrote a book last year entitled In Their Own Words, which you see up there in the corner. And it features the stories of people from all over the world and their journey into, through, and into their adulthood and old age or whatever it is they are now, and why house music has been a part of their life and a great inspiration. So I invite, once again, everyone in here, even if you've been in the first one, you are allowed to be in the second one, because I'm quite sure you left some stuff out of the first story. Well, not you, BB. Because BB's story, wait a minute, y'all. BB's story was like a book unto itself. And I actually had to edit it because I was like, dude, just write your story. And he's like, can I write anything? Now, literally, I've had 100 people ask me that were writing stories. So I'm like, yeah, you can write anything. And when I got that thing back, I was like, oh my God, what did I do? So you got to get the book and read his story, read Angela's story as well. And you guys call and Danielle, Reeves, whatever you like to be called, you can write yours as well.
As you prefer, you're the boss.
I like Daniel. Reeves is just weird to me, but it's okay.
I forgot one time to send me one radio told me that how you say your name.
I remember
you on the street the third time.
Yeah.
One time they didn't ask me and they said R3B3S. Oh wow. That's a new way.
So BB, where'd you get BB from? Where'd that come from?
BB started in high school. It stands for Balancing Bill, the juggling clown, the best entertainer in any town. Your kids will laugh with lots of joy. They give it the puppies and throw out the toys. So if you're having a party today called Balancing Bill, he'll come right away. You know, I juggle, I balance things on my nose. It's just became a thing.
Wow.
Okay, so now you have to get some things and juggle them for us.
Yes, I sure will. I can balance a record on my nose.
Okay, so I'm going to assume that call is short for Colin.
Yeah, no tricks of juggling for me, Jesse. It's just always Colin. It's simple.
Right. So you know what I want to do with you, Cole?
Yes.
You've got some interesting things happening over there, and you have a partner, Wes, over there, and I want you to tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing with your situation, with your label. And
obviously, I've got the brand on today, you know, flying high with the D-Fix. This is our D-Fix recordings. You know what it is? I never thought in a million years when I got involved with music that I would be sitting here saying I now have a record label, because running a record label is, again, totally different from anything else, from DJing or making music, you know, in the world of you know, signing artists, and very similar Jesse, you know what I mean, running broken records and stuff. You're listening to demos, but I think with D-Fix, we've done something a little bit different. So me and Wes, you know, we've been in the music business for quite some time, you know, trying to break it, trying to make it, like you know, trying to get heard. So we put D-Fix together because when people come to us, we help people to fix their music. So if you send us a demo, I know, Jesse, you're very good at this as well, mate. I love it that you help people as well, you know what I mean? So I love this motto where I used to send music to labels, and they would listen to it 10 times and didn't even reply, or you get nothing back, you know? So It's disheartening, isn't it? It's really disheartening when you're trying to become you're trying to get your music out. So everybody who sends us music, if it's not for us, we will go back to the artist and say, look, can we help you make this song better? Would you be up for us giving you some advice to make the kick sound good? And we'll help them change the track, and then we'll advise them to possibly try another label or use the links that we have with some of our labels and friends, you know. So it's a nice way to help new artists, I think, and we're becoming really popular for it. We're getting a really good thing on Facebook and socials. People are giving us a lot of respect for that side of it, you know, which I think that's why we made the label, really.
Yeah, well, that's what it's all about.
Of course.
That's what this whole thing is, and I wish more people would realize that, because you know, everyone's kind of out for themselves and they want to do this, but it's like if we all stick together, and I mean that also goes in the form of promoting parties with promoters. It's like if you know someone's having a big party one night, why would you try to go up against them? Pick another night. Help them out with theirs, and they'll come back and help you with yours, and you'll both be successful. So I don't get that whole competition thing.
Yeah, I don't know how that came about. Just it's like people's lost the way, I think, within time with money and fame and trying to. But actually, it's the roots of the house music, isn't it? Bringing people together. That's you just got to keep remembering that. Haven't we?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
You definitely have to do that.
That's true.
Wow.
Totally cool giving like consulting to the artists.
Yeah, do you know what it is? We ask first, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because some people don't want that advice. But if they come back and say, we're happy for advice.
At the end of the contract, you ask her 75%.
Helped someone just the other day, and he got his 3 tracks signed to another label, and he sent us a lovely message saying thank you. You know what I mean? So that's reward, isn't it? That's the nice part of doing
That's
this.
very good.
Of course.
Think about it. I mean, I look back at when I first started. You know, the greatest part about my beginning was I had no competition.
We didn't have any, did we?
There was no competition out there, and sales obviously reflected that back then. I mean, we did just On and On by itself. We did about 30,000 copies just in Chicago, and those were 12 inches. You know, at $4 a piece. So it was a whole different ballgame then, and subsequent releases. And, you know, by the time we got to Love Can't Turn Around 2 years later, we're over 100,000 units, you know. Wow. And now you're lucky if you do 100 units on a release. So
I know. Crazy, man.
I was telling Angela the other day, I shouldn't even be saying this on the air, but I'm going to say it anyway. But we were sitting up talking about, this is great. We got all 3 mixes on the charts, you know, and we got one in the top 5, one in the top 20, and so on and so forth. And I was like, yeah, but it sounds like we're doing well, but it still only has amounted to about 40 downloads. So it's not even a download, it's a pre-order. But I was just like, okay. So that means that to be number 1, you do 50 downloads.
I think it depends from the day. Maybe you can find also the first one at 20 downloads. It depends how many money you have to spend in that one.
I think that's where it helps to tie in your social network and, you know, challenge them to do something interesting with it, whether it's, you know, a skit, a dance, some kind of a challenge. I think that's where people, they want to have some sort of a part in the product and the end result of the success of the product, so they can say, hey, you know, I contributed to that. And that was why I was asking about the TikTok thing and if there was any dance challenges, because I think it would be a lot of fun, you know what I mean, to host some kind of a dance challenge of some sort. And those people, they get a snippet of it in advance. You know what I mean? They get to receive it early because they're a part of the challenge.
I'd love to see someone or people do it to Deeper, because that would be really interesting.
No, for sure, because TikTok is pretty sexy if you haven't noticed. Honestly, there's not a lot of censorship going on with TikTok. So I keep thinking, I mean, I know it's about love and a deeper love. I get that.
Okay, that's what she says.
I vote for the baby.
But you can imagine what people might make a TikTok of.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking for. So check this out. I have the best idea. Danny, you started out. You do the first TikTok.
Wow. You know what? I just might do that. That would actually be my first TikTok ever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a creeper on TikTok. So I'm a member of TikTok and I follow a bunch of people and I repost a bunch of stuff, but I don't post anything myself.
Yeah, but see, then I want to go to Daniel and see if he gets one of those sexy Italian girls to do something really cool with Deeper.
Real cool.
I know you got him over there, man. Come on. You're a good looking guy. I know you got some nice girls over there.
I can ask some stranger. I'm not sure to go to the prison, but I'm so close. I just ask. I don't promise anything. I just ask.
I'm seeing coal miners. I'm seeing scuba divers. I'm seeing, you know, the LGBTQ community. I'm seeing a bunch of possibilities.
You know,
here's a good one.
When they
Macarena to Deeper.
Yeah.
The Macarena.
TikTok is huge.
Robert Lee says online Macarena to deeper and go Guinness Book of World Records with it. The most Macarenas worldwide.
Yeah, BB's got some love. Check it out.
Brian. Hi, Brian.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
They're saying they're digging the BB Hayes mix, so I can't wait to hear it.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for the support, everybody.
Yeah, did you look today? You jumped up a bunch of slots.
Yeah.
18.
18,
Shut the front door. So that means I sold like 12 pre-sales.
Yeah, but you know what? The other day, when Carl jumped up to the top, and B was like, "Well, I hope I get some love on mine too." I was like, "Okay, now you did a nice job."
Then I should say thank you to all these people that are logging on, because they are my family from San Francisco, most of them, and I know that they're like, I'm going to support BB, and they're probably grabbing all the mixes too. It's just great. I mean, listen, we're all kind of like supporting each other with the whole promotion, and I mean, I've never promoted anything more than this in my life. So
that's what it takes. It's a community, and that's what we're talking about. Everybody sticks together. We can actually get numbers and sales, and we can spread the word a lot better. Because if we're all trying to put out a release, because I mean, think about how many releases come out just on Traxsource every day, right? And everyone's pushing their release. It's like they're trying to tag everybody. And they're doing this, and then you're doing it, and I'm doing it, and everybody else. And it's like singly, it's like we're not getting anywhere. Yeah. But when we can all come together with like minds, again, it's strength in numbers. It always has been. So that's where we need to be. And my whole philosophy for this whole pandemic thing that has affected us so much in terms of performance, which, is a nice segue for me to list this picture again.
So hot.
Don't you miss that?
Yes.
Yeah.
I definitely miss that. It's so weird. I had a couple of shows here in my living room. And it was very interesting doing that. I tried to get creative with some mirrors and go a little extra out. It was cool. And I did that to the previous song, or no, the first song with Reeves, When We Are One. And it was cool, but man, it really took a lot of effort. And we had graphics and all that kind of stuff, behind the show. And I don't know, it's just not the same. It's you feel so weird, like performing. I had like one person over. He helped me like set everything up because I didn't have any equipment. My friend works at B&H, so he like super came my living room. I live in a super small apartment. You couldn't barely even walk through it for that one show. So it was.
We know you're in New York then.
What?
We know you're in New York then.
Yeah.
Or it could be San Francisco too.
Could be San Francisco.
So yeah, I miss the stage. I mean, just like you guys miss DJing, I'm sure it's, weird not,
I miss the console. Yeah, for sure.
I miss it so much. It's the live streaming thing. I tell everybody, it feels like phone sex.
Almost there.
It's like
okay.
Why am I even calling this number?
I was trying to be serious for 1 second. I not mention my name, but BB, get pass over that minute. Okay, it's over. It's 3 a.m. here, so you can say everything you want.
Well, you're going on 4 a.m. now.
Yeah, I'm going for 4 a.m. 20 minutes, and we passed the record.
Yeah, well thanks
shout
for
out
hanging.
to Matt Price. Yeah. He says it's a great song. Sincere said that she loves the community and how the community effort is what's driving the numbers. And Robert Lee wants everyone to stay safe. And he said it's a great show. So just in case anyone didn't get a chance to see those comments, and we appreciate everyone who is commenting. So thank you to all of you guys. I am curious if any of you would take a chance and perform if you could, because here in Los Angeles, there's a lot of underground underground stuff going on. So you'll see posted on social media, oh, I'm streaming my show tonight. Check it out. But then in the DM, it's like $20 and it's right here. And here's the address. So I'm just curious, show of hands, or if you guys want to take turns, who would actually show up to an event and perform if there was one available right now?
Does that count people who've already done it?
I've been asked a few times before. I've done it. I've been asked a couple of times.
Angelala said no.
Vegas has been open like the whole time. I played there a few times actually.
Yeah.
I mean, they have very strict kind of codes, but they've been open and they've done very well.
I'm certainly would consider it. I just the problem is I live here with a large family, and grandma's 84, and I just feel like if I do, I'm gonna have to, I'll basically come back and quarantine for 2 weeks because I just don't want to be that person, but I'm certainly open to it, and I'm, it's possible. I mean, we're getting closer. I just, I just, out of respect for the other people that I live with, I kind of feel like, God, what if? And it's scary. I mean, nothing I want to do more than to get out there and perform. So the answer is yes, and I would have to consider all the, ramifications. But it could happen. I'm pretty healthy.
Yeah, I think every performance now in this moment is really, really, really dangerous for yourself also.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how's Italy? Because I know you guys got hit really bad for a while there. How are you guys doing over there?
In Italy?
Yes.
In Italy, the situation, I'm not understanding what's happening really. Just sometimes it's going good, sometimes it's going worse. And today we have a different, like Brazilian part of COVID, English part of COVID, French part of COVID. Every country has different kind. But every country in Italy. But I don't know how is it possible. We are in lockdown. So how they come there?
I'm gonna solo you for this one because this is a great comment from a friend of yours, obviously, someone who respects you. So check it out.
Norman Stradley. We go way back in the San Francisco scene when I first discovered house music. We're bros for life, and we played at all the best underground places in San Francisco. The biggest party at that time was Release, and we closed it down for years till like 8 a.m, and everybody normally go to the End Up, and they stayed at 1015 Folsom because we didn't let them leave, And Norman is he's my bro for life. So thank you, Norman, for the support. And so I'll just plug in because he does a live stream every weekend, and he's got the setup, which is like above what most people will do as far as from their house. And so he's like really gone the extra mile. So when you watch it, it's entertaining. He's got actual people dancing live in there, and
they're not cardboard cutouts.
and cats, because we love cats, and Norman's a big cat fan. So
nice.
It's clever. I mean, what he's doing is clever. It's entertaining, and I support him 100%. He always gets my songs, my remixes every time, and we support each other like that. I love you, Norman.
Shout out to Norman and people like him, and all our Facebook friends who are checking us out too. Yeah. Another artist chimed in and said that it feels so good to be a part of a community that supports one another, and that makes it a lot easier for him as an artist. So we got some really great feedback from our Facebook friends today.
Oh, thank you, Vonnie. We try to keep this show different each week, We had 2 weeks ago, we had my favorite show so far, and actually it was our biggest show so far. We had Chicago versus New York. And boy, did I love that, because I was on a mission that whole time to get the people from New York to finally admit that Chicago is the birthplace of house music. Now, we all know that. But New York would not concede, and we finally got them to say it. So that was a great day.
Right on. One love. I'm so happy to be here, guys. I just want to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day. House music is so filled with love, and that was how I would get my therapy every week. Is I would go attend a couple house events after work and just dance until I was completely detoxed from all the stress of the regular day and being in the matrix. So I really appreciate each of you guys for your contribution. Please keep creating because it means a lot to the end user, me, and all of us in the community. So thank you guys.
Now, I have a great question. I love asking this question. It was a great segue from my last statement. So, house music. We all love it, right?
Yeah.
Shake. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
Everybody.
I think yes.
Okay.
I
So,
guess.
in your opinion, and I'm going to go around the room, and this is even going to include Danny this time. I want everyone to answer their own opinion about what house music means to them. Start with you, Daniel.
That's like philosophy exams. For me, house music is that moment that I'm feeling happy listening. For example, going walking down on downtown or I don't know in the center, in the city center. I'm feeling like inspired every time I listen to house music, and in that moment, for me, it's like I don't know if something like love, because I'm not the perfect lover for sure, but probably it's something like close to be really in love with house music. When you find, for example, my first time, every time I listen house music track, like for example, Pushing On, I'm totally transported on it. So that's my opinion about house music. I think I can't describe it.
Okay. Well, next we'll go to you, Angelala.
To me, house music is happiness. From my first experience with it, everyone was so smiley and happy, and I have yet to go to a house party or a club that there was like bad vibes. You know, it's always been so nice and supportive, dancing, talking, just always had a positive experience with it. So when I had the opportunity to start making house music, it felt natural. So I'm glad that I'm here. So yeah, house music has just brought a lot of happiness to me in my life. It's been a long time. So I'm appreciative.
Tell everyone about your experience at Winter Music Conference. That was an interesting story.
Yeah, so I went to Miami on spring break, and I had gone the year before on spring break. So I noticed the second time that it was very different. There was a lot more people. I noticed there were a lot of people from Europe there, and so I was standing in line with two of my girlfriends, and I was saying to them, like, yeah, it's very different this year. I don't know why it's so crowded and why we have to stand in the line and stuff. So a guy was smoking a cigarette, and he was like, oh, you don't know where you're at? You're at the Winter Music Conference. I was like, no, I don't know where that's at. So he was a producer on E! Entertainment Television. He took me and my two friends in, and it happened to be a Casual Records party. And so that was my first introduction to house. DJ Heather and Colette, they were playing. And I never saw him again, and I met people that worked for Casual. And so I started going to Chicago as soon as I got home, because Chicago is only a 5-hour drive from Flint, and then you gained an hour, so it worked out. And so I started experiencing house music in the birthplace. So I was very fortunate.
Birthplace of house, Chicago. Chicago.
Yep.
Undisputed.
Yeah, go Chicago.
Smart Bar. I remember I would go to Smart Bar, and I think the other one was called Red Dog.
Red Dog, yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. So those.
All right. So we'll go to you, BB.
What does house music mean to me? What does it mean to me? Okay.
Yes, that's the question.
To me, house music, I agree with Reeves that it's the first thing that comes to my mind is it's about love. And on the dance floor, it's kind of this about community. It has this kind of tribal feel to it, to where it's not really about bumping and grinding with another partner on the dance floor. It's about being free to express yourself and just be in whatever that is, to be fully self-expressed in your dancing. And then you have the space to do that. And so everybody just kind of accepts who you are. All labels aside, it's just human beings together in a community celebrating life.
I have to say, I'm looking at your background there, and in the corner, we have, just for you in the corner, it says BB Hayes. But right over your shoulder, you've taken the liberty to also put BB Hayes up there.
Let me tell you what's really cool is I've been doing this party that's kind of like a smaller version of like a Burning Man. It's like after Burning Man. It's called the Hind Hoedown. It's in the Santa Cruz Mountains, and every time the DJs come, and I'm one of them, and stuff, they make all the DJs these cool plaques. So it's mostly to honor them because they invite me to their party and stuff like that. And plus, that's my name.
Don't wear it out.
Right? So I said, before we came on, I told everyone, we'll try to do a nice background. Everything, right? BB always has a nice background. Angela always has a pretty good one as well. Now, I talked to Reeves, a.k.a. Daniel, and he said, well, it's just a room. I can't do anything to it.
I'm minimalist. That's my mistake. I'm sorry. I know.
It's okay.
I don't have picture. I don't have artwork.
You got some angles back there that are kind of cool, so that's all right.
Yeah, this room is particular. It's everything is angle, but my problem is power for my laptop. It's just here, and so that's my background.
And you're
Too
sticking
bad.
to it.
So anyways, just to let you know, I'm not going to take down my signs because I'm worried about you guys thinking I'm an egomaniac.
In case you forget your name, baby.
That's quite all right.
I
Danny.
love myself.
Annie, yeah, and you should love yourself. That's what it's all about. So what does house music mean to you?
House music to me is a release. It has always been an endearing part of my life and a way for me to really process trapped or pent up feelings through dance and expression. I'm a 90s club kid, probably there younger than I should have been at after hours that I probably had no business at. But I think of Armin van Buuren and RAW and Barry Weaver and, even now like Terrence Toy and just a lot of DJs who really took me to a place that I couldn't get to without the music. And it's just been a part of my life. I don't feel from any other genre what I feel when I listen to or dance to house music. And that's why it'll forever be a part of me. House music all night long. That's all I gotta say.
It's Friday night.
Music all night long. All right, last but certainly not least, Mr. Lawton.
Yeah, similar to Danny actually. Just thinking like when I first discovered house music and it first hit us in the heart, like late 90s, hearing these sounds and dance music that I've never really experienced before, but in a setting in a nightclub with a load of strangers who then become all your best friends and you see them every weekend. You have no idea who they are Monday to Friday, but on a Saturday, they are the people that you're going to hang around with in the same corner where I dance because that's my corner. So it's like it becomes like a religion, isn't it? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like it's everything when in your 20s was all around having that release on a Saturday when you've had a hard week. You're going to go and spend time with your friends and dance and let loose. And like BB was saying, not being afraid to just be yourself, you know what I mean? And release yourself really and enjoy being in the moment. And I think over the last 20 years, making music now and being involved in music, it's just like takes you to just a different place. And you know, I've had tough times over so many years with certain things in your life, but if I look back, what made everything be better, it's the music. You can escape, you know what I mean? It's that time when you can escape just a little bit, so you can enjoy yourself. So it's amazing, really, what it does.
Yeah. Now, I've done a lot of documentaries with the BBC and Channel 4 over there. Have you seen them?
Seen them? Yep.
Yeah, because they're like TV series over there.
Yep.
We don't get the love over here, but over there they're like full feature TV series and things like that. You know, but it's been amazing, you know, doing these things through the years, because I set out on a mission probably in the early 90s after so many years of hearing everyone, you know, purvey all this misinformation about what started where, and everybody wanted to pound their chest and say I was the one and I was there, and you can't have 200 different stories. You know, there's one story. You can be a part of that one story, and that's why it's all inclusive. That's why I did the book. But you can be a part of the story, but at least have it correlate to what's going on in the evolution, because then we end up with so many different stories and no one knows what to believe or where to go. I mean, I've had people walk up to me and say, "Oh, you didn't make the first house record. You didn't do this." And I'm sitting here thinking, like, how old are you? First time, it's like they're not even old enough to even know that, and they're going to tell me. But it's just amazing some of the feedback that I hear, and it's all because of this misinformation. So the main thing that I tried to do with this particular book was tell the story by the people instead of the people who claim to be the pioneers and the people who made it. So, you know, I remember my editor asked me, you know, are you going to get, is Steve Hurley going to be in it? Is Farley Jackmaster Funk and all? I'm like, no, why do we need them? We've heard this story 200 times. We don't need to hear that again. Let's hear from the people who actually did, you know, made it. Because think about it, as a DJ and as a performer, if you don't have an audience, who are you? You know, it's like performing in a pandemic in your living room.
Living room is the top, like loft. No. I think it's in the kitchen with the LED wall. It's the top.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was all about just trying to finally get one cohesive story that everyone could be a part of. So that's what In Their Own Words is all about. And I would like to thank all of you for participating tonight, because we actually made it to an hour. And this has been amazing.
We survived.
Yeah. I usually love this because I get to catch up with people that I don't talk to, you know, for long periods of time. But I mean, obviously we've been talking back and forth through Messenger and IG and text and everything the whole time. But this is an amazing spotlight. I've never done one of these before. And I just thought it'd be really cool to bring everybody together on the show to do this, because it shows an example of how we can work through these hard times in the situation that we're in, and we can still work together. You know, I have a guy I've been actually working with, Henry Navarro. He's been my virtual engineer. He's up in San Francisco, and we're like back and forth over here. And I thought, wow, this is amazing. And I'm so used to being hands-on with stuff. You know, I want to move this and I can touch that. And I need to do the tweaks. And the only way I can tweak is to really get in there and hear it with my own ear. So now I have to depend on his, and then he has to export it to me. And it's just kind of like, okay, well, this is different, but we're fine-tuning it. It's working. So it can be done. I like working virtually. You can work with anybody. Carl sent me some stuff I need to work on. I'm going to open that up and get into that as well. You know, BB's doing stuff, and obviously, you know, Daniel, back and forth. We've been on WhatsApp back and forth through this time, and it's just amazing. This journey with you guys is just the beginning, and we've started off great with this particular song known as Deeper.
Yeah.
So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This has been amazing. Go out and support Deeper. Support Reeves, Angelala, Carl Lawton, and BB Hayes. And you can even support me if you want to. And, of course, support my girl, Danny, doing great things. So next week, we'll be back with another show. I have no idea what it's going to be yet, because I kind of make them up as I go along. But we will be back. Thank you for tuning in to another edition of In Their Own Words. Go out and buy the book. Peace, y'all.